Dunlop National Rally Championship. The rolling hills of Donegal are a sight to behold, and the picturesque setting for the 9th round of the Dunlop Championship. The stages are some of the best in Ireland, and with the weather holding out and the pace of the local drivers, it should be a highly competitive event.
The penultimate round of the Dunlop National Rally Championship is the Donegal Harvest Stages Rally. The event consists of 4 different stages, each ran twice, covering the vast area of the hills of Donegal. Going into the second last round of the championship, just a mere 6 points separate the 2 top contenders, Niall Maguire and James Harrison. The outcome of this event will be extremely important for all competitors. Let's see how they fare out.
The opening stage is typical of Donegal, long and fast. It basically runs anti-clockwise around the region of the Pullen Mountains, east of the village of Ballintra. Stage 2, a more technical stage. It starts outside the village of Leahy and runs almost parallel with the main Donegal to Turan road, before finishing up south of the Loch Esk. As the crowds perform a Mexican wave whilst waiting for the first car, it's number 1 seeds Jim Harrison and Harvey Bell who lead the way with fastest time on the opening stage. With 2 rounds to go, the Macclesfield crew are pulling out all the stops to make it a British victory.
Stay left of a crescent jump, 50 here. Cut first right. Plus of a crest into straight left. 30, stay left of a crescent jump here, watch him. 50, slowing, straight left of a crescent jump. Stay left of a crescent jump here, 70 through dips, right left of a crest.
Next arrival is also a leader, Niall Maguire, who hopes to keep his lead in the championship. But despite recent testing, he is still struggling with the handling of his new car. Local heroes Paul Harris and John McCafferty had hoped to have a newer car for their home event, but had to settle for their old reliable Group A model. They were slow to start, but set 4th fastest time. The technology may have moved on, but the former winners have never lost their pace. Undoubtedly the latest sensation of this season is Tim McNulty and Eugene O'Donnell. The crew have been winners this year and led many events, posting some incredible stage times, making this their most successful season in rallying. Overtaking a stricken Patrick Elliott is Cathal Authors, who has a fraught event with delays whilst catching other competitors. But it's a bad start for the Cavan crew, who lose almost 3 minutes with a puncture, and who themselves arrive to see Jim Harrison off the road on stage 2.
Slam right of a bump tip, 60, bump in the turn, square right late, 2nd gear. Turn square right late, 2nd gear. On you go, on you go.
Cathal Authors and Jakes Kelly are driving the Hyundai to the limit, treating the car like a rear-wheel drive machine to try and make up for lost time. Another local crew coming out of the woodwork is Hugh Martin Doherty and Michael McBride, who are most famous in a BMW and somehow think they are still driving it. However, like fellow Donegal man Harris, a lack of match practice sees them down the leaderboard after stage 1. Kevin Barrett and Barry Goodman, though pushing hard, are taking it gently over the notorious Donegal jumps. Many a crew have fallen victim to the hills of Donegal, and that is only on the very first stage.
Press 20, 1 left, 80. 1 right continues into jump and 2 right maybe, 80. 2 left, 60. Brown, that's it, well done. 1 left, 60.
Losing precious time with the spin, Sean Gallagher and Enda Sherry are also in mechanical difficulty with a leaking exhaust manifold. They may be losing power, but it doesn't show here.
Small crest flat, 1 right long, flat 60. And 1 right long flat. All okay, 1 left flat. 1 right flat, 200, go through the kink, 200, to turn square left, tight, the bail.
James Gillen and Sinead McCafferty are really pushing their older model Subaru to the edge and use their local knowledge to best effect. Another homegrown crew is Ivan Stewart and Joe Friel, who are also using their local knowledge, but in Donegal it's mainly pride that's at stake. In yet another Subaru WRC, Sean Devine and Joe McElhinney are more locals hoping to make it a victory for a Donegal crew. But stalling at a junction is a costly mistake. Championship regulars and also from Donegal, the McHugh brothers, are more than capable of a class win, but it's more than top 10 honours they are competing for. A very ragged Dara Raftery and John Carroll seem to be struggling with rear suspension problems, but with handling like this and heavy landing on damaged suspensions, disaster cannot be too far away. Turning in too early is London visitors Anthony Mabry and Sean Cunningham, who throw the Celica around the hairpins and seconds away with it. Stage 3 is a rerun of Stage 1, but a lot more competitors are more cautious over the jumps after the demise of a number of cars on the opening stage. Stage 4 is a repeat of Stage 2, but a quicker run through with more familiarity of the stage. Niall Maguire and Paul McLaughlin are back in form, but are being hotly pursued by local hero and multiple winner of this event, Paul Harris with John McCafferty. Continuing the rapid pace he set in Cork, Tim McNulty is the new rally leader and is definitely an overall threat for next year's championship should he continue his winning form. Cole Ortis is on a massive charge, having broken a fan belt early on in the season. His car suffered 2 engine failures, and having resolved the problem is making a last-ditch effort. With 3 minutes in arrears, Patrick Elliott is well down the leaderboard, but for now his main concern is to collect points.
Flat jump and dip into jump. 80, flat jump. Flat jump and dip into jump. 80. Flat jump, 60, cut 2 right fast over crest and jump.
Hugh Martin Doherty is having the drive of his life. He is defying all the laws of four-wheel drive, or else ProDrive have built the first rear-wheel drive WRC for the Irish tarmac. Struggling with lack of turbo boost pressure, Kevin Barrett will try to solve the problem at service, but there may not be time to trace the problem or have the right spare parts.
One left and one right, 150 over crest. 2 left, 80.
Also having turbo boost pressure problems, Sean Gallagher was well back on form and beginning to set a quick pace.
Flat crest and bumps. In the jump, all okay, 170. Keep her going to the top. Small jump okay, 60 up. Crest, stay left and middle, into 2 right, go.
Down but not out, Jim Harrison is 9 minutes late and is off on Stage 1, also cost him cosmetic damage when he was hit by 3 other cars.
Slight left, into slight right to the crest and jump, into slight left, bit of braking, slow it. Just going that fast left wrong, well done. 50, crest and slight left to step 2, quick, quick, quick.
Not surprisingly, the locals were out in force as Donegal claims to hold the majority of competition licenses in the country, and both James Gillen and Sean Devine prove just how fierce the rivalry is amongst the local entrants. There is trouble ahead for the Galway crew with persistent in-handling caused by damaged suspensions over the Donegal jumps. The Subaru is an accident waiting to happen.
5 right line here. 5 right line, 60 up the middle. Oh, Jesus. Then 80 up the middle, 80 up the middle, 4 left, 60. Steady now, steady. Oh, Jesus, keep her at, keep her at. Oh, no,
Stage 5 is based near north of Inver Bay. It has no less than 7 square junctions and 3 hairpins, making it a very demanding stage. Stage 6 is one of the longest stages of the event and is equally as demanding as the former, with some lightning fast straights before finishing near Donegal town. Niall Maguire's approach is fast. He's lost too much time early on, and he will take no chances, having crashed out of 2 events early in this year. And with Jim Harrison out of the reckoning, he can only go on to consolidate his championship lead. Paul Harris has got the smell of victory. Not having the budget to compete on a regular basis, he is seizing every opportunity he can with both hands. Tim McNulty continues his tremendous form, but mechanical failure beckons. Carl Arthurs nips and tucks his accent very tidily and is chasing the leaders as hard as he can, but is over a minute off the overall lead with half the event remaining. Patrick Elliott and David Moynihan are by now well in their stride. They are still too far behind, but they try as hard as possible, even with the odd scare over a jump.
Fast one left over gravel and bumps, into small jump, 40, fast right over crest and bump, 80, very long, fast one right, keep it going, very fast long one right. Keep it going, 40, 2 right, okay, continues over bumps.
The very sideways Handbrake U is still throwing the Subaru around and entertaining everyone, including himself. Kevin Barrett is on the road to retirement. The exhaust manifold is broken, and without a spare, he'll be lucky to make the finish.
One right, 100 over bumps, 60 straight crest. Jeez. Okay, that'll do you. Oh.
Arch rival Sean Gallagher solved his problem, but now he struggles with poor gear selection.
Straight long and 4 left, go. 4 left here, go, 170. The danger bump, 5 right, white wall through farm. 5 right.
Jim Harrison and Harvey Bell continue, but merely to rack up some mileage. Retirement is not too far away.
Son. Max left of the crest and jump 250. It's at the top of the hill. Keep going, fast. Top of the hill, the house. Stay to the pole, turn hairpin left.
James Gillen takes a tight line, tight enough to lift the rear wheel, but struggles to get the power down out of this junction. Sean Devine has no such problems, and he leads his fellow Donegal man. After slipping off the road and losing a minute, Tim McNulty surprisingly held onto his lead. The local boy has done good, but can Paul Harris overhaul the leader, McNulty? Niall Maguire is in the back seat at the moment. His points position is very safe in the championship, and that's the way he wants it to stay. Carl Arthurs has improved his position and is going very well. But further down the line, all efforts will come in vain when he is knocking on the door of first overall. As we can see from Patrick Elliott's in-car camera, Arthurs catches McNulty, who retires with a broken rear axle, and is held up for a long time, whilst he and Jakes Kelly help to push the Subaru out of the way.
30, slow for hairpin right slow. Come on ahead, boys.
The stage was not stopped, and Arthurs loses 4 positions and is clearly robbed of any chance of a win. Almost getting bogged down, Doherty is just outside the top 10, but enjoying the event all the same. Kevin Barrett's manifold problems have finally caught up with him, and not for the first time, despite all his efforts, he is forced to retire so close to the end.
1 right into straight crest jump and 1 right, 30. Straight crest jump into dip, 60, 2 left over bump, 100.
John Gallagher consolidated his position, and with the demise of others in the top 10, he climbs a position after stage 2.
In the crest, stay middle and flat, 2 right, flat crest, 60. Left over crest, go, 60.
Battle-scarred but still in the battle, Jim Harrison is continuing on, only for the sake of the fans who have come out to support him.
Max right, 70, max crest, 50, max left over crest. I'm braking on this left-hander here. Give it up, this right-hander. Right, slow it, go right over this, go right. Thank you.
James Gillen still cannot catch Sean Devine, but fights on to the very end. Ivan Stewart collected first in class and performed very well in his Escort WRC. Sean Devine can be well pleased with his 8th overall on his home event. Joe McHugh didn't fail to impress either, but could only manage runner-up. Finishing first in Group N is Michael Curran, but winning the production category in the championship is Willie Fanning with 2nd in Donegal. The 3rd position in the category went to Donegal Mitsubishi dealer Andrew Stewart, and we will have all the action from the Group N and modified section of the Donegal Harvest Rally in our next programme. And so into the top 5. Sean Gallagher and Enda Sherry collect 5th overall. In 4th position and winner of the production category is Michael Curran and Killian Duffy. Having been robbed of a potential victory, Cathal Authers and Jace Kelly fought their way back up to 3rd position and salvaged some valuable points. Having an unusual and troublesome event, Niall Maguire and Paul McLaughlin remarkably claim 2nd overall and win the Border Championship. But there's no victory sweeter than one in front of your home crowd. And Paul Harris and John McCafferty will celebrate in Donegal well into the early hours of Sunday morning. It may well be their 5th victory of this event, but the elation is no less, especially considering the standard of today's competition. The Dunlop National Rally Championship. The spectators are out to see the first Group N on the stage, and its local crew, Andrew Stewart and Fabian McShane. Andrew is Ireland's only Mitsubishi Evo dealer and certainly knows how to drive one.
Stay right here now. Here. Up the hill. Stay right. Over absolute crest and crest jump. It ain't back off. Tight square right that crest. Tight square right here that crest.
Willie Fanning has got to drive sensibly if he's to maintain his championship lead. Any drama could hand the championship to the challengers.
Into 60 and then 2 right, repeat 2 right, 1 left over bump dip, and it's caution crest jump, 60 over dip then, double caution crest jump, keep left into jump and bad dip, 60 then into left over crest bump, repeat left over crest bump.
Gabriel Martin is a driver nobody can discount. He is always on the pace and definitely makes it difficult for other competitors. James O'Sullivan and Adrian Deasy from Cork are always very spectacular. Despite being on the limit all the time, they have been getting good results all season.
6 left over dip at the trees, 80. 6 left ahead, 80. 6 left, go ahead, 80. Left up middle over crest and jump, keep it on 200. Keep it on 200, just there left.
Martin Doherty from Letterkenny has former champion navigator Crawford Henderson calling the notes. The crew is local and has pride at stake. Will they be at the races with the regulars? Brandon Kelly and Derek Brannigan are also from Letterkenny and already have shown to be trying too hard.
Tidy here, repeat tidy, come back, jump, 60, slide right over crest, okay.
Mullingar's Adrian Quinn and Alan Moran are settling into their Lancer. Only a handful of seconds slower than Fanning. He lies 4th in class. Michael Curran has Killian Duffy navigating. The young crew are fierce competitors and will be gunning for honours today. World Rally Championship navigators Rory Kennedy and Gordon Noble have decided to compete in their local club event, with Rory doing the driving. With rallying in the blood, John and James Cairns made the short hop from Strabane to compete in the challenging lanes of Donegal. Danny McBride and Brendan McElhinney are another crew from Donegal, but unfortunately they don't make it past stage 2 when they crash out. Pat Price is at his usual consistent pace, but is lucky to be competing, having been on the reserve list. Jumping high over the Donegal crests are Letterkenny crew Gary Cooney and Adrian Doherty, who crash out as Rory Thomas's in-car camera shows.
Danger jump at house. Really? Jump at house.
Brandon Connor and Alan Redstone are setting the pace in the local challenge with some fine driving that keeps the local fans entertained. Sliding their Evo is Gary Carnes and Martin McFall, who are having a ping-pong battle with Rory Kennedy. And we'll have to see who comes out on top. WRC TV presenter John Desborough is performing a different role this weekend as he is navigating Willie John Dolan. Maybe in time he will present a round of WRC from Ireland. As we all know, we have the stages for it. Andy Stewart is leading the rally in his class at the moment. Will he make it a local victory?
And back off, very fast to right at pole. Very fast to right here, back off. And to absolute to right in a pole and absolute to left over the finish.
Willie Fannin is one of the closest challengers, but local knowledge is a massive advantage.
Past the bales, 40 into 3 left, then a White House. 3 left now, 80 then turn hairpin left over gravel, first gear. Hairpin left over gravel, first gear. Hairpin left over gravel. Get round it. 150, go!
The Dublin carpenter, Gabriel Martin, is driving the wheel nuts off the car, but cannot make an impression on the local drivers at 10th in class. Adrian Deasy is pointing the way for James O'Sullivan. He pushes his fellow Corkman into 4th spot.
Into 4 left, over crest, get in. Repeat, get in. Into long 4 left, past the hall, get in again. 100. Centre over small crest and jump, 150, away you go now. 4 right over crest and bump, 100. Repeat, 4 right over crest and bump, 100.
Brendan Kelly shows that local knowledge can also be a disadvantage as the Letterkenny drivers pushes too hard and slides off the mud-strewn stage despite a warning from Derek Brannigan.
Square right where you had to slide the last time. No brakes, man. No. Right, out you get quick. Out you get quick.
Michael Curran is rallying for just over a year and is now showing his quality. Leading the class is more than he could hope for. The Flying Breadman from Mullingar is 16th overall and 4th in class, which should net him 2nd in the Border Championship. Brendan Connor is lying 6th, but is driving beautifully on the slippery Donegal stages. Pat Price has daughter Karen on the notes. Pat bought his first rally car from Patrick Elliott just to give it a go for a year or so, and that's been almost 5 years ago. Willie John, the legend, is enjoying his run, but it's the navigator John Desborough who is really relishing his new role in rallying. Frank Ray and Joe McNulty show that they are worth more than their seating and finished 7th in class and 18th overall. In 5th position is John and James Kearns. They made their journey across the border to get a worthy 5th in Group N. Collecting 4th in class are Cork crew James O'Sullivan and Adrian Deasy. Andy Stewart and Fabian McShane finished 3rd in the category, and maybe they will contemplate doing a full championship next year. A delighted Willie Fanning secured 2nd position, which is enough to give him the championship victory in the Dunlop Series. The winners of the Group N is the young up-and-coming Michael Curran with Killian Duffy, who plan to contest the Dunlop Championship in full next year. The Dunlop National Rally Championship. Welcome back to the hills of Donegal, which is the setting for the jumps of the modified cars, which are set to entertain on this, the penultimate round of the championship. Camillus Bradley and Danny O'Neill from Draperstown have lost their main challenger with the retirement of Pat Donegan. Damien Gallagher, Mac Walcher from Letterkenny, and do most of their rallying up north. Cars of this standard would be very welcome in any event. Another namesake, Paul Gallagher, with Carl Reid navigating, have an unfortunate first stage exit. from their home rally. The highly entertaining Maurice Moffat and Jason McKenna are set to blitz the opposition with their 2.4 starlet. It shouldn't be a problem. The very experienced driver Robbie Peoples has Keith Stewart on the notes. Called from the reserves, the McGovern brothers have competed on all rounds of the championship, but they will not complete this round when they fall victim to the jumps and the bumps on stage 1. Pete Green and Paul McDavid are about to give us some graphic language to describe the stage ahead.
Good man, that's it. Right, 230 over bumps and turn square left, opens. Keep it tidy now, keep it tidy. It's 130 and it's flat now, Peter. Go on. 130.
The always entertaining Enda Keenan is battling for the Border Series. Drew Hunter is navigated by his brother Victor Hunter. The Port Salon crew are more unlucky victims of stage 1. The gravel-strewn roads are no danger to Arthur Keynes and Gareth Began, who are sliding their way through the stages. Eamon McCafferty and Tony Walsh are about to have a big moment in their Escort.
500, one right. Sorry, 102 square left. Tight. Watch her there. Watch her. Ah, yeah.
A neat and a tidy Trevor Lancashire and Noel Hall show everyone how it's done. Seamus Hegarty and Gareth Callaghan from Woodlands are on course for a solid finish. Enda Hallinan and Ollie Ward from Galway don't finish the course in this event. A pothole marked on the pace notes caused them to crash out at high speed.
Flat left, over bump dip. Crash jump into the rough, watch the pothole on the right, 60 over dip. Oh, my. Are you alright?
Terence McHugh is always a regular competitor in the championship with Tony Boyle, and they don't fail to impress on their local event. Jerry Cassidy and Porrick McCara are having trouble staying out of the dikes and ditches all day. Driving a starlet the way it should be is the eventual class winner Bernie McGinley, with Raymond Scott navigating. Paul Gallagher has an excited James Gallagher on the notes as they pass the stricken escort of Pat Donegan, who amazingly won Class 13 of the Border Championship by just starting the event.
That's her. 2 right, 1 left over bump and dip.
One of the contenders here in Donegal this weekend is all the way from Norway, his first time ever to rally in Ireland. But in fact, Neelis, it's your first rally ever.
That's almost a fact, because I drove one very small rally once just to get my license, and that was very slow. But this is my first real rally, and this is a real rally.
Why did you choose the Irish roads?
Me and my colleague, we traveled around Ireland last year making 3 television programs without no money. And seeing how friendly and nice you people are, we thought that we could go anywhere in the world to make a rally like this, but we went to Ireland, of course.
Are you enjoying the event?
Very, very much.
And how are you getting on?
Very bad. The thing is that I was starting on stage 1, 2.5 minutes before I should start. My brakes just went totally out, nothing. And then we sort of repaired it in some way. I had one brake on the front wheel. Then we go back to the service, they fix it. We start on stage 3, same thing happens the other wheel, no brakes at all. So we just use a tool to hold it together while we're driving.
The roads here in Ireland, very smooth, no potholes at all.
Oh, smooth as my ass, but it's and that ain't much smooth, I can tell you. But the thing is that roads like this we wouldn't be allowed to drive on in Norway. Public roads like this, because it goes everywhere, and that's so fun.
Yes, the Norwegian comedian is a refreshing change, and the driving style of Camillus Bradley has him lying first in class on the last loop of stages. Damien Gallagher's just behind Bradley and 20th overall. A Norwegian cameraman at work enjoys real rallying as Robbie Peoples tries to improve on 3rd in class. This starlet has won the Tarmac Championship almost 20 years ago, and Maurice Moffat keeps it winning with 1st in class well within reach. The Squealing Pig Escort of Enda Keenan and Paul Gary take 3rd in class to win the Border Championship. Trevor Lancashire is in a hard-fought battle and is currently 3rd in class. Seamus Hegarty finishes 4th in the very competitive Class 13. And almost attempting to take out our cameraman, Pete Green finishes 4th in class and 46th overall despite a few hairy moments.
Keep her at it again, keep her at it! Turn square right, opens. 65 right out of her, near the finish, come on, come on, come on! That's it! 5 right, 3 left.
Brian Armstrong from Newtown Hamilton collects 2nd in class and 35th overall. A very sideways, Raymond Drury wasn't as competitive as he usually is as he slipped off the leaderboard early on. In a rush to have a jar in Moyna's bar, Jerry Cassidy manages to get to the bar with a 5th in Class 12 under his belt. Martin McGee and Donegal Motor Club chairman Damien Crawford win Class 12 and finish 31st overall. Rory Thomas and Stephen Fury collect 5th in Class 11 with their immaculate Corolla.
Right over big crest jump, it's a big one. That's it, 200 over bumps. Danger, long 3 right plus square left. Long 3 right. Long 3 right there. Square left, 80. Square left, 80. 2 right.
And Paul Reid and Brian Boyle from Letterkenny finished 2nd in class and 25th overall. Electrical trouble forced the retirement of PJ McDermott and Sean Harris in their newly acquired BMW. After rolling his car and looking like he wants out, Arthur Kiernans eventually finishes 9th in Class 12. Trevor Graham and Niall McColliag show us how a Swift handles in Donegal.
Right over crest, that's jump there, 62 right over crest jump here into left over bump dip. Oh, 150, fairly quick now, crest jump, stay middle to 100 down the hill.
Almost a blast from the past, the Rockman's Livert Escort of John Reddington and Bernard Glacken brings back a lot of fond memories to many spectators. Liam Doherty and Damon McCauley from Letterkenny are trying to get to the finish faster than anyone else to improve their 4th in class. Younger brother of Patrick Elliott, Paul, has Kevin O'Connor navigating on this event, where they finished 7th in Class 6.
Harder, right, flat, we've got a jump on scene at the ruins, but it's not a problem. Then we've got 60 up the hill, hard, 60 up the hill, fast 2 right at Old House 40.
And with a sick engine and almost battering bodywork, John Hanlon and Bobby Trimble stumble on to finish a deserved 2nd in Class 10. And winning Class 11 was Mark Alcorn and Kevin McCafferty in their Corolla. Robbie Peoples claims 3rd in Class 13. And Damien Gallagher is the bridesmaid and runner-up in Class 13. Maurice Moffat and Jason McKenna drifts into a Class 14 win. And winning Class 13 is Camillus Bradley and Danny O'Neill in his immaculate self-prepared Escort. the Dunlop National Rally Championship.